here. The free bus is quite popular, especially during school going out times. School dismissal, I don't know what you call it. I'm glad I don't know, because I haven't been in school for years. I used to actually have nightmares about being back at school. That's how much I hated it. So, yeah. But yeah, what I was going to say about vegans is look, I've got absolutely nothing wrong with someone choosing a vegan lifestyle. But the trouble is that it's become quite an aggressive cult type organisation. Now that's not all vegans obviously, but there's some nutcases that actually go in and raid cattle stations and things like that, farms that are producing meat. That's where it crosses the line. They don't respect other people's lifestyles and they expect everybody to conform to their own. It has a Beijing sort of feel about it with authoritarianism, that type of thing. So that's where I think they become more of a cult, and a dangerous cult at that, because they get violent. And then you have allied to that sort of extreme type view is the group that were actually supergluing themselves to bloody what was it, to asphalt and things like that in Brisbane, I think is where it took place. Some crazy group, I can't remember their name, Extinction something or other. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, they were absolute nutters. So, as I say, no problem doing what you're going to do as long as it's not harming other people. You do it your own lifestyle. But and as far as food's concerned, I've cut back on my meat quite a bit. I'm actually probably having a salad tonight, so I'm eating a hell of a lot more greens than I've ever eaten in the past. And it's not because it's just healthy, I actually quite enjoy them, and it's quite cheap because there's no GST on this healthy food anyway, so you save yourselves 10% straight away. So there are economic and health benefits to it, but I also think it tastes good, so it's a win-win all round. Anyway, I wouldn't want to do without my alcohol, though. I can do without tobacco. I weaned myself off that years ago, but alcohol, no, I need that. Yeah, they had the Vickers for 29 bucks, but then I found out it was actually the one with infused lemon, and I wasn't prepared to try that. I mean, I have had infused gin in Saigon. It was okay. I mean, it might have been all right, but I don't want to sort of commit myself to a whole bottle of this stuff unless I know it's okay, and it's only about $4 less than the Windsor, so I just got myself a couple of bottles of Windsor and a couple of clean skin ports, which are about $6, and they were quite reasonable quality last time I had them, but they were out of stock last time I turned up here. So at least I got everything I wanted, because I'm a bit short on tonic water, and I don't know if I could be bothered going down to the supermarket when I get back, so I'll just I might have some port for a change tonight, which would be nice anyway. I don't mind doing that. I think I even prefer it to having red wine. Red wine goes well with cheese, you know, it's the old like uni thing, the classic cheese and red wine and cheese, claret and cheese that used to have years ago. So they are a good combination. But yeah, no, I really like, I just love gin. I've really got the guzzle of stuff down. It's a great spirit, really good stuff. So especially when it's only $33 for 700 mils, it's quite reasonably priced. It's not that uncompetitive compared to beer. It's a lot easier to haul around if you're on Shank's Pony. It's okay if you've got a car, you can buy yourself a slab, but it's a little impractical here. I have done it. I did buy myself a slab of Hoegaarden, and they're in packs of 4, but it was still, what it was end up being, it was it's the same number of bottles I think as a normal slab. So yeah, I had to except there were more of those packs because they're in 4 packs rather than 6. So yeah, that was I was able to carry all that, but it was a limit of what I could haul by foot. So anyway, it's yeah, the weather's weird at the moment. It's very changeable. It's one day you'll get sunny weather, next day you've got this. It's grey. And it hasn't been that cold. There's only been a couple of minor cold snaps, but overall it really hasn't been that cold during winter. So yeah, oh, I'm not complaining about that. And I saw the weather in Melbourne wasn't too bad. It was about 15 degrees, which is pretty reasonable for the middle of winter. And, I'm sure they'll get some shockers coming up where it's going to be top of 12 or 11 degrees, and you just don't get that here. They did actually have a one day down in Townsville where it was a top of 15 degrees, but that's really strange. It's just not heard of. Gee, there's just constant traffic. I suppose Friday afternoon busy. I've never been caught this long here though. Yeah, gigantic stream of traffic today. Yeah, anyway, I got everything I need done, and I actually also got an abusive email. Well, not super abusive, but the guy who sent it to me about my last video I put up on Friday, the name of his YouTube channel is FU, and you can fill in the blanks after the F, of course. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, a charming individual. He called his that's what he called his YouTube channel. And he abused me because I put a video in about the social distancing and how I'm too old to bend at the knee, and he was obviously not impressed, and he obviously thinks that well, I don't know what he thinks, to be quite frank. I think he's just basically a troll. But yeah, he called me a wanker. That was the worst he said. So I mean, I've had a lot worse than that. But he, you know, he's just one of these people who won't listen to reason, I don't think. I mean, it's just, everybody's entitled to an opinion if they sort of just make some sort of argument. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have to agree with it. God, that's ridiculous. I'm not that precious. But a lot of people just aren't even able to do that. And it's much easier just to be a member of a group and not think and just follow the sheep. It's a much easier way of getting through life. You don't have to worry about being accepted. As long as you follow the rules of the group, you're fine. But I'm a bit of a contrarian, so I get into trouble. But stuff it, you know. I think I'm very worried about where society's going at the moment. I think, given that we've got our institutions have basically been wide-handed for so long, like education. I've talked about this many times, but I really believe it. Now you see the attitude they've got to the police force with the George, what's his name? Yeah, George Floyd. I mean, I'm not defending that at all. I mean, those cops need to go. They're crazy. They don't know what they're thinking. I mean, there was a group of them. Apparently they're fairly new to the job, and but you'd think one of them would have said to the others, "Look, you know, this is going too far." But this does happen. You have these group dynamics where you get this irrational behaviour, and they feel like they have to conform with the group, even if someone's being killed. I mean, it's just insane. But you know, cops have got a tough job. I mean, there are bad cops, obviously, but they do have a tough job, and they need support as well as condemnation when they stuff up, which they obviously have in this case, and they do need to throw the book at these guys. But talking about destroying the institution of the police is just insane. No society has ever been able to work long term without some sort of a police force. And a military in general. Probably can get away with it more these days. You're a small country. Like New Zealand's pretty well defenceless from what I can gather. I think it's dangerous though, because you just don't, things can change quite quickly. And for instance, with the Chinese situation, the Vietnamese, I mean, the New Zealanders might find themselves quite vulnerable in the South Pacific with really any defence. They've had a free ride for a long time, spent bugger all on their own defence, like the Europeans have too, under the NATO thing. They've allowed America to do all the heavy lifting, and the places like Germany just haven't been spending the right amount of money. So they've been able to sort of indulge themselves in other ways. It's cloud cuckoo land. But it's not fair to have someone do all the work for you, and you're just basically having a free ride. It'll come back to bite you eventually. So yeah, I think there's a lot of problems. Apparently, the good old Jacinta over there is very popular. Well, according to an opinion poll. Now that's, you know, opinion polls can be very sus. So I'm not going to go with that just because an opinion poll says it. I need to know what the opinion poll was, because my understanding is that she's on the nose big time in New Zealand prior to that, so it just doesn't make sense. But if New Zealand have her back in power, I think they're in for a rocky road. I think their economy's doing poorly because of her policies, and unless she wants to basically totally kowtow to the Chinese, which she might do. But I think that'd be political suicide, and it may well have been political suicide for Daniel Andrews in Victoria. Time will tell. I don't know. I'm not the fun of all knowledge, but that's my suspicion that that's given the opposition in Victoria something to really sink their teeth into. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Apparently, there's a talk of allowing 10,000 people. This is Morrison's trying to get the AFL grounds to take 10,000 spectators in. I mean, I just think this is ridiculous. It's just, you know, this corona thing has been found out to not be the black plague that everybody was, all the panic merchants were saying. So I think we've got to just get back to normal and see how it goes, and then respond if need be. I really think that's the way to go. But yeah, apparently that's the latest 10,000 allowed in. So there's going to be a lot of disappointed fans if they do that, and they'll be shutting out a lot of fans from the matches. Maybe it'll just have to be all bookings. It's better than nothing, but I think, you know, again, I think they might as well just open the gates at this stage. And people in an older age group, more vulnerable members of the society, maybe then keep them away, and that's fair enough. But you know, people who are young and healthy, it doesn't seem to be an issue anyway, so it's just absurd. But the other thing that really got my goat was that there's going to be apparently another demonstration, and this time it's about refugees. I mean, for God's sake, it's got nothing to do with corona, but if they allow people to assemble en masse for a protest about the refugee issue, then we just know it's 100% political what's going on. It's got nothing to do with the medical situation, and it's all BS. So, which I think it is anyway. So I think that they're being found out, these people. So that's my opinion anyway. Oh, glad I got off here, because just as the stop before me, a couple got on and sat right behind me, or a couple of seats behind me, and the guy just kept saying, "Shut up, shut up, shut up," to the woman he was with. So I don't know if it's going to turn physical, but it's certainly verbal abuse happening already. So that's what you get up here. Get all sorts. Yeah, I didn't drink as much last night. I actually had a good night's sleep. I've been sleeping really badly. I took a one sleeping pill. You know, you get two, really knocks you out. I very, very rarely do that, only when I'm flying. But I actually woke up just about before 6 o'clock. I actually slept right through, and that's unheard of for me lately. I've been waking up either midnight or about between midnight and say 2 o'clock or 3, and then having to go, you know, to snooze again. And sometimes, actually, I woke up about an hour and a half later than usual one day, because it's just I had a really bad night's sleep the previous night, so that might be why I slept so well last night. It was pretty zonked for the whole day. But yeah, when I was a kid, I used to sleep like a log, but I guess it's the old age thing. It's one of those things, but at least I can sleep. I mean, there is a condition where you can't. I saw, again, I might have mentioned this in the past, but there was this teacher who actually suffered from the condition where he couldn't go back to sleep, and he basically just went crazy, literally crazy, because human mind, you know, needs to basically clean things out, I guess, and he just couldn't function. But he got less and less sleep as time went on, and it just got to a stage where he just couldn't sleep. And like I say, you can't live like that. It's just finito. Now, the actual gate was open last time I came back, but I doubt whether that'll be the case now. No, it's locked. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.